When it comes to mechanic shopping, it's really important that you look out for some very key things on which mechanic you go to, the name of the mechanic, whoever you talk to at the front desk, and what they say and what they do. And I know this very, very too well. I would say, is that even a sentence? I know this very well because I have a used car, and I've only had used cars for as long as I've been driving, and I've only been through two. I was through a Nissan Versa, which is a hatchback. I missed that thing. That thing was, I called it the whip because it had a really good turn radius and it was pretty speedy. And then now I have a Hyundai Sonata, and it's getting to the point where it's starting to have some problems. And when I mean problems, I mean like some serious problems. Of course, right after I move, I had so much time to myself, just trying to get accustomed to my place. And now that I've had that time, my car decided to be, hey, yeah, what's up, dude? I'm gonna break down for a bit and make it really loud for you when you drive around and make you panic for a while. And I'm like, that's great, thanks, buddy. It's like every month it's something new. I swear to God. That's just the nature of having a used car. I mean, you got to pour some money into it to fix it up. Um, and it's I would say it's a more economic way to have your first experience with a car. If you're a youngin and you're maybe got rich parents or something, and they're gonna buy you like a new BMW next week or something for your birthday when you turn 16, I almost would argue it'd be like you should probably try to get a beat 'em up car because you got to go through the experience of knowing how to work a car, how to change its oil, maybe change a tire, check for certain things in the car. And if you just start out with a brand new like BMW, that's going to cost you so much money down the line, especially if you get it wrecked and are a bad driver. Luckily, I'm a great driver, so I've never been in a wreck before. But it's just so much more friendly to start with a really cheap car. Now's not the time to really get one because we've had all these tariffs go on, and the car market is it dipped a little, but now it's just like ridiculous. Even used cars nowadays are kind of stupid. You can maybe look really hard like I did before for both my cars. One was 4 grand, the other was 6. So those are pretty good prices for used cars, especially the mileage I got for one of them, my Sonata, because I drive a lot for Domino's, but the mileage I got when I started was like astronomically great for the price. So it's really good to look out for that. But when it comes to mechanics, see, I've been having to drive around like crazy. You got to look out for shit that they give you right at the start, right when you talk to them. The first minute should be an indicator of if this guy's gonna rip me off or if he's gonna help me out. And I was stupid enough to go when my car was having problems earlier last week. Um, I went to some random mechanic that I don't know in this area because I just haven't found one yet that I really trust. And he hands me a sheet of paper and he's like, sign this. And I'm like, I read it and I'm like, I guess I'll sign it. And it was a pre-diagnostic paper. So they charged me for just diagnostics, figuring out what's wrong with the car. I already kind of knew what was wrong with the car, but they slipped me the paper anyways. And you get pressured. They slip you a paper, they don't say much. And you gotta be careful of that. And I'm not gonna say how much money, but I wasted a good chunk of money just doing that. And I was like, great, you wasted my time, you wasted my money, and I didn't really gain anything from this. And the quote they were trying to give me for actually getting the repairs was so astronomically ridiculous. I was like, no way, I'm not doing it, no fucking way. Um, it's really hard to find a mechanic in your area. Obviously, if you have like a dad, it's really good to ask them where they get their car done, or maybe even a grandpa or an uncle that you have. Everything always depends on where you are, like what state you're in, even what country you're in. You want to be careful. You don't want to go too cheap when it comes to fixing your car, because if you do, then the repairs you're going to make are going to probably break pretty soon down the line. You want to have at least some quality, but you don't want to get ripped off, is what I'm saying. So I spent like all day yesterday during the morning looking around trying to find a place. My problem with my car is I have an exhaust that is leaking pretty bad, and my muffler is also blown out. And that's not too bad of a repair to do. The problem is you have to have like kind of like a specialist do it. So I found a guy that has a reasonable price, but the problem is he was like, I can't get to your car unless you fix these other things because these are going to be problems also down the line, and it's going to break the parts that I'm about to put in. And I was like, oh great. So he writes down what I need. I go try to find some places elsewhere around town, and all of them are like ridiculous. And it's also like a really busy week for mechanics for some fucking reason. It just happens to be that way. So I was like, great. I guess I'll call my guy back in my hometown. It's not too far away, but it is a drive. And I set up an appointment with him. Said it'd take maybe a half a day or so. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I guess that works. I've relied on that guy so many times to fix my car, and he's great. You got to find a mechanic like that. It takes a long time. You got to look in places where it's not off the side of maybe like such a busy highway. It's not like super noticeable. You can tell by websites sometimes if their website is like really clean and super like up to date. That's probably a bad sign. And my biggest tip for like whenever you're first talking to a mechanic to go get some work done, especially if you're like a newbie or anything, you don't know anything about mechanics. If they ask for anything beyond your phone number and your name, then they're probably trying to scam you. If they ask for like your email, an address, like the whole nine, they're probably gonna charge you some stupid fees and like intense labor charges. Like it's gonna be ridiculous. So you don't want that. And that's what the first guy did to me. And I was like, I like scratched my head for a minute. I'm like, I've been through this before, but I don't know. I was kind of in a desperate situation. Just like, don't let that pressure get to you. You can always say no, and I feel like that's such an important thing to do when it comes to mechanics. Of course, you don't want to bargain with them too much, because then they'll be like, all right, this guy's ridiculous. He's asking for too much. But you definitely want to make sure you're not getting scammed. You want to be like, hey, this is what I need. Here are my problems. If you need a diagnosis, try to find places that are free. There are plenty of places I've been to that have free diagnostics. They just do them. Check it out. Maybe they might be nice and send you like pictures of things. I've had one guy do that for me, which was great. And try to get whatever you're trying to get fixed. Like let that be the main focus, because mechanics love bringing up other crap that's maybe wrong with your car but doesn't need immediate attention to you, and try to get you to pay for everything. Like my back brakes, for example, are pretty bad. I probably need to get the rotors replaced, but that's a lot of money. And I'm not looking to do that until those things are like rusted off my car, basically. I have bad windshield wipers that probably should get fixed sooner than later. Um, there's some other things, I guess. I have like a TPS, my TPS system, which is the tire pressure. The light is always on because two of my sensors are broken, but I check my tires like all the time. I'm pretty crazy about tires. I get a little paranoid about them, so I don't really think that's a super big issue that I probably will ever fix on this car, because it's only $6,000. It's not that much money. But that's the best part. I think when you buy a brand new car, especially if you're trying to pull out like a loan for it, car loan payments are ridiculous. They're so ridiculously high priced, especially nowadays, with like how overcharged cars are from their original value. It's not worth it. It really isn't. If you can try to hunker down for a few days and look around your area for a cheap car alternative, don't get something that's ridiculously cheap that's like not gonna fucking turn the wheels or move, but get something that will last you at least a few years. Depending how many thousands of dollars you spend is how many years your car should last. So since I spent $6,000, this car should last me 6 years, and I've just now had to get it fixed. So it's good to keep them lasting. And I don't know, this is just more of like a ramble about cars. I don't know what to name this video just yet, but I appreciate you guys listening to my ramble. Let me know if you guys agree with anything, and I'll see you next time. Bye.